So, I was wondering, how was it possible for Rey to have appeared in the first episode, well, moments after we find out that she was actually miles away, injured in the hospital after battling an Ava? Digging around through Ava forums, I found a pretty interesting and simple theory titled Rey's Ghostly Appearances and Quantum Mechanics. Let's talk about that. So, apparently to understand how Rey transcends time and space, or perhaps is somehow omnipresent, explaining how she can be in multiple places simultaneously, we need to discuss and analyze the laws of quantum mechanics. So in this video we're going to be explaining the behavior of subatomic particles at a nanoscopic level, mainly quarks and leptons, as well as also talking about how the standard model of elementary particles works, and how they correspond with quantum relativity, and the way these particles interact with each other to create things like matter, time, and space. No, I'm just fucking around. We're only gonna briefly touch on it. Ava's deep, but come on. Like, was it so complicated that someone just decided to use an even more complicated physics method to somehow make sense of it all? Like, really? Physics in an anime? But Ava's different. It's a sci-fi. But just also happens to have a buttload of religious symbolism. What's the correlation? Absolutely nothing. As someone who's actually studied physics, the whole idea of a theory explaining Rey transcending through time and space seems a little overkill. Something so seemingly insignificant that happens at the start of the show brings out some of the most amusing theories. But this one takes the cake. Comparing Rey to quarks to explain how she can somehow be everywhere at once seems like a overly complicated way of saying she does what the fuck she wants, basically. My point is, there's an easier way of explaining the happenings of the first episode without having ridiculous timelines and graphs that make just as much sense as a fucking bowl of spaghetti. It's not simple, but it doesn't need to be so convoluted. In layman's terms, episode 23, when Ritsuko shows Shinji and Misato the room Rey was born in, the words top, bottom, and strangeness are written on the walls. These terms are from quantum mechanics, more specifically subatomic particles known as quarks. There are different types of quarks. Top, bottom, and strangeness are only 3 out of the 6 that we know to exist. The reason why these are important is that quarks behave in a way that seems obviously impossible in regards to normal physics, just like Rey. For instance, a single quark can be in more than one place at a single time, just like how at the end of Evangelion there were multiple Reys that were collecting the souls of all mankind. Another quark property is that they have no meaning of time. At a subatomic level, effects can happen before their cause, and particles can arrive at their destination before starting their journey, just as how Rey was with Ritsuko after she was shot, and in the explosion with Misato, and of course at the beginning and the end of Evangelion, looking at Shinji. Rey was genuinely a living god, which was made apparent by the end of Evangelion, and such had no bearing of time or space. She was omnipotent and omnipresent, meaning she could transcend before and after her death, which is the reason that makes it possible for her to be in the parallel scenes where she is first and last seen before Shinji.